And we're live. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Today, we've got the Stani Army verdict, and it's going to be me and Hamza who are going to go through with you the first day of the opening test of the 2020 series, the test series in 2020, shall we say. And basically, what a start. What a start. I mean, it's like we've all looked forward to it. And it's been a really, really good start. First of all, how you doing, Hamza?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
So, Hamza, what did you find of the first? I mean, first of all, let's go through the Pakistan team. What did you think of it? It's going right, it's on the ticker.
Yeah, it's going to be discussed all the way through the test. Obviously, the major issue is going to be the two spinners, and sometimes Pakistan have a habit of doing sort of slightly random decisions that end up working out. So I wouldn't be surprised if it does turn, and both Shadab and Yasser do well in this series with the bat and the ball, especially with Shadab. He can definitely bat and field as well. And actually, Yasser's a very good fielder as well. It's not the team I would have picked. I would have probably picked Imam and played him at 3. I think Azhar is under a lot of pressure. I don't think his mind's in the right place. His technique's all over the place. I would have liked Imam at 3 and until Harris is back, and just played the extra batsman just to give us a bit of cushion. I don't think we're going to need a 5th bowler. So that's what my thoughts are on the 11.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it was either between Fuad Alam and I say playing 2 spinners, and they've gone with Shadab. I think the theory behind Shadab could be that they saw the England series in 2018 and they saw his performance in the PSL, and they're probably seeing him in nets and thinking, you know what, he could do a job at number 7. He could be an effective batsman. If he gets 40 odd in this first innings, he'll done a decent job anyhow.
Yeah.
So
so I'm not totally against it. Yeah, I'm not totally against it. It's just I wouldn't have gone with that. It reminds me of, in 2018 we won the first test, and I said straight away then, drop Fahim, because he didn't really he did all right in that first test in 2018. Drop Fahim, play the extra batsman, protect the 1-0 lead, and they didn't do it. They went with the same team, and sometimes you've got to be a bit more reactive, and I can imagine us winning this. And I'm not saying we're not going to win. I'm not saying this team can't win the series, but if we win this test, I hope that we don't go into the second one playing 2 spinners again. It's just you don't play 2 spinners over and over again. Whereas Pakistan historically haven't shown the capacity to think on their feet from match to match. And so even if they win this, I'm hoping they don't do 2 spinners again, and they go back to 6 batsmen.
I mean, we've got to look at every game in context. Yeah. If you look at the England team now, I mean, they went unchanged, which is probably expected, especially if Stokes wasn't going to bowl. So that was probably expected anyhow. So, I mean, 4 seamers and a spinner, that scared me a little bit. I was like, oh, that's going to be tough. Because they're always fresh. They're both 3 overs. They go off. And the other come on, and they're always going to stay fresh. The 4 seamers, so especially got a spinner on one side, he can control it if they need, a few overs here and there. So that was a bit scary, but Sean and Abid, they batted out that first session, and that was pretty decent. They saw the new ball out. I think we had Tanzil and Debbie here yesterday, and Tanzil actually mentioned a few times that the last thing Pakistan can do is bat first and be 3 down in the first 12 overs. And I remember his thing, and when Pakistan sort of went past the 12, 13 over mark, I was like, you know what, we haven't lost a wicket. Abid's got a great ball, and he got bowled. And his form's been up and down quite lately, so that was another one where he sort of he got a decent ball, but he should be playing that a lot better. But Abid's got a really good one from Archer. So, but then came in Babar Azam and Shan. What did you make of them 2?
That was really nice to see Barber actually. You know, 'cause there was a big build up for him, and I was like, you know what, the build up was a bit too much. You know, just calm down a bit. But because yeah, if he comes out and gets like a sort of dad score, like sort of scratches around for 12 and gets out, you're like, yeah, this guy's just like they'll suddenly think he's just another dad batsman. But yeah, I'm glad he came out and sort of looked quite comfortable, took his time. And then once he was on, I think he scored. He was on after about 30 balls or something. He was on like 7 or 6.
I think it's
And
20,
we ended up,
27 balls, I think, at
yeah,
lunch. He was on 4 or something.
yeah,
So and then after that, he was run a ball virtually.
yeah. So I was impressed. I was obviously Barber's impressing everyone. So that's good that he came out and performed. And hopefully, he'll kick on because guys like that, sort of 60s, 70s aren't good enough. They need to be scoring sort of daddy hundreds, 150 plus. Sean, his technique's just a lot better than what I remember it being. Looks really a little bit uncomfortable to Dom Bess, but then again, when you're a left armer, it is a little bit tricky to the ball turning away from you. But the thing is, if you're a left arm batsman and you're facing a right arm spinner, the way you get them off the scent and off their sort of line is you got to use your feet and be a bit aggressive. And the thing about Sean, he doesn't have that aggressive. He's not a sort of David Warner. If David
Mhm.
Warner faces or even Said Anwar, someone like that faces Dom Bess, they're going to be coming down the pitch and sort of inside out shots. Yeah, they're going to be doing that to him to get him off the length. Whereas Sean's just sort of putting his foot down and just sort of straight back defense, and eventually he's going to nick off. So I'm hoping sort of one of the coaching staff has a quick word with him. Says, look, you need to. It's not really turning that much, and I know when you're a left-hand batsman, you're in the rough. He needs to use his feet more. He's just getting stuck at the crease, and yeah. So, but still, to the seamers, he looks very tight, which is really good to see.
Mhm. I think Sean, was it the Sri Lanka series? And he got out to the off spinner a couple of times, and it was like he's playing for the turning ball going outside, and he becomes circumspect to the arm ball, so it's the ball that just carries on with the arm, and then he sort of like struggles with that.
Mm.
But yeah, he again, like as you said, he's batted a lot better than in the past. A lot of hard work's been put into that, and so fair dues to him there. Barber, I mean, like it was absolutely classy. Some of them shots that he was playing, um, he really did treat anything that it was in his arc, especially when they're over pitching it, trying to like move the ball. At one point, I know he frustrated Anderson. Anderson was literally like swearing away, not at Barber, but going back to his mark because he really got to him. And I think was it Nas? Yeah, Nas. Nas was saying he actually said that it's time to put some respect to Barber's name. There's no longer a Fab Four. There's a famous five, and you've got to add in with Coley, Root, Williamson, and Smith as one of the 5 best batsmen in the world. That's big praise coming from an England commentator. They don't come out with that sort of praise that quickly, so that was big praise. We've got some comments here. I think there's a little debate going on. It's with Deb and someone called Zakaria. And Deb said, Imam at 3. Interesting, Hamza. So that was for you. And then Zakaria said, England's easy peasy for Pakistan. Deb, early days yet, Zakaria. Zakaria said, it's going to get easier to bat tomorrow. It probably will because the sun's going to be out. And Deb definitely hopefully get a big score. Zakaria, a bit of turning the pitch as well. And Deb said Nas loves Barber. The Fab Six, it's a Fab Six with Labuschagne. So yeah, it's I guess so. We could add a few more, but there's an elite, and I think Barber deserves to be called in that elite. He averages about over 100 in the last 12, 18 months.
Since the World Test Series started, the average is 100.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously that point he does deserve his respect. If there's any other questions, please feel free to add them on because it's only going to be a very short thing. We've only got another 2 to 3 minutes left. What do you think about tomorrow?
Yeah, so a bit of a cliche, but obviously the first session is going to be important. Like you said about the four seamers, that still worries me that England could roll through us. That's why I
Mhm.
wanted the extra batsman, because you know what England are going to do. They're going to play four seamers and Dom Bess, so they're always going to have seamers that are fresh. So with when you've got Riz batting at 6, the keeper, and Shadab at 7, uh, you're basically saying a couple of wickets and you're sort of almost not tail, but you're not miles off the tail. And you know,
Mhm.
Woke, Archer, Anderson, and Broad. So people are talking about them a bit too much about them being fabulous and all this sort of stuff. But in English conditions, those four are really good. You know, you look at Wokes' record in England. I mean, his average outside of England's 51, but his average in England is like 21. So he's really good in English conditions. So the first session is going to be important. Baba hopefully needs to kick on. Sean needs to sort out what he's going to do to the spinner because he's going to get out to him eventually if he just keeps sort of prodding away. He's got to be more positive to him because he seems to be handling the seam as well. Yeah, so it'd be interesting also to see sort of how Rizwan does, the keeper, because in the warm ups he got 100 and a 50, and I didn't see any video footage. There's no footage available of it, but no one else made even. I think only one other person got a 50. So if he's got
Yeah,
150, he's in great form. So I'm looking forward to seeing him because I've been bigging him up for
and
years.
it's actually
Not
Shafiq
years,
as well. Definitely a point
yeah,
to prove.
yeah. Shafiq's got a point to
So
prove. I was saying it earlier. You know, the guy he goes under the radar. He's been around for 10 years, batting at 6, and he doesn't
mhm.
average 40. And I think he needs to be put under more pressure. Like, he sort of went under the radar because he had Eunice and Misbah ahead of him. Now they're gone. Him and Azza have got to step up, and Azza has stepped up at points, like his triple hundred in Australia, things like that. And Shafiq's done it occasionally with 130 that he did in Australia, but he hasn't really done anything since then. I don't remember any
Mhm.
meaningful innings from him over the last 2-3 years. And he bats at a pretty easy position, 5 and 6. It's usually 6. You've got to be averaging at least 40 batting at 6, more than 40. You've got to be averaging 45. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
I'm
especially
hoping
if
to see
someone
something more
you've
from
invested
Shafiq.
10 years in.
Yeah,
We've
10
invested
years
like
in,
10
you've got to be
years
doing
in
better.
it. A good score.
I'll be satisfied if we get 350. Personally, I
I'm
think we
happy
can.
to take that right
I
now.
think I'll take that.
350 will be ideal. Akil just asked us if the opinion on two spinners. I think we've just covered that. We both probably would have said like you play one or the other. Um, there's a couple of more comments, and that will be us done. What's your guys' opinion on Shadab at number 7? Fair or should we begin with Fuad Alam? I think we've just discussed that. So um, you just said that we should have gone with the extra batsman.
Yeah,
Would have been Shadab or Yasser. Which one do you play at 8 then?
I still would have gone with Yasser. I still would have gone with Yasser. He's got the numbers behind him. I know I don't know. He's got sort of my uncle's diet right now or something. You know, he's sort of put on a bit of podge. But he's still got the numbers behind him. He can still bat quite well. He's actually a pretty good fielder as well. And so for
Mm-hmm.
everyone saying Shadda brings it in the field and he can bat, well, Yasser's actually a really good fielder. And Shadab actually he impressed me in the PSL. Definitely, he showed that he can actually bat. But again, batting at 4 or 5 in the PSL is not the same as batting in a Test match. And he's not. I still don't think we should talk about him like an all rounder. I'm not comfortable with talking about him as an all rounder. So that's my opinions on Shadow. But I probably would have still gone with Yasser. And on the whole Fawad thing, you know what? I've backed him for a while to get into the team, but he was rubbish in the warm ups. You know, you've got to do yourself a favor. I was on Twitter the other day and someone was sort of acting like there's a conspiracy theory against him. He played in all of the warm up games and he didn't make a score. You've got to help yourself eventually. And
Mm-hmm.
fine, you know, people hold it against him that he's got horrible technique. And if he had a nice technique, he would have definitely got into the team 6 or 7 years ago. But you've got to score when everyone's watching you and when everyone needs you. And he needed to score runs in those warm up matches and he didn't. So I
Mm-hmm.
sympathize with him, but only so much.
Okay, and the last, we're gonna go through these comments, and then we're gonna
Yeah.
finish it off. And someone just said his name's Chris Rere, R-E-R-E. How much do you pay debut to be your only fan? £10 an hour. Okay. Zakaria, it took Kohli 10 innings to score the amount of runs Babar scored in England without being dismissed. Basically 69 today. Yeah, basically it took Kohli 10 innings to do it. In his first tour, he struggled.
I can't do it.
I'm not sure, but I know he did struggle. But I'm not sure it was 69 runs.
I don't think yeah, he did struggle.
And then Chris just said you have 8 people watching. Thanks, Chris. You're one of the 8. Thank you.
Well done.
And okay, we're not gonna. And I think he just said, "Why don't you speak in Urdu so more Pakistanis subscribe to your channel?" Yeah, if you want to join us, yeah, and you want to speak Urdu, we're willing to speak Urdu. But at the moment, it was us two who are more comfortable with English. So that's that. Yeah. Looking forward to tomorrow. We'll be back at similar time tomorrow. Another short video to sum it up. Thank you very much for joining.
See you guys.